Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm not outside Old Trafford. I'm in the studio, which means one thing. It's live, so get involved in the chat, get involved in the comments, and let us know what you think about all the latest Manchester United news. I've been away for a little while, so it's good to be back. Well, I say it's good to be back, but I feel like I've returned to the Titanic after we've hit the iceberg. Not a happy camp at Manchester United at the minute. We're going to get into all that in a minute. As you may well have guessed from the thumbnail, Ralf Rangnick, he's got a little bit of a sort out to do, hasn't he? He's got a few things going on there. We'll also get some transfer news as well, so don't worry about that. If you're not doing, make sure you are subscribing to the channel and hit that like button as well. Give us a like as well as a subscribe. Like and subscribe, as they say. So we'll get into it. Ralf Rangnick faces mutiny, it says on the thumbnail, and you're thinking, what's going on? Does he face a mutiny? A mutiny by who? Why? What's he done wrong? He's only been here for 37 days. How can he possibly have a mutiny on his hands already? Well, according to several news outlets, he does. And there's a lot of players who are unhappy. Now, I think this first broke last night. I think it was Dave McDonnell was one of the first people I saw anyway who was tweeting it. He had it as a bit of an exclusive in the Mirror. A few other outlets have picked up on it as well. And he basically says here, Ralf Rangnick is battling to unite the Manchester United dressing room as he faces up to his first crisis since taking charge. Cliques are understood to have formed within United's squad, with interim boss Rangnick facing many of the same problems that forced the sacking of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It says a source close to the squad claimed as many as 11 players now want to leave the club after becoming disillusioned with life at Manchester United. I mean, it does seem a little bit strange that he's only been here for what they say, 37 days, and yet he's already got 11 players that want to leave. But it seems these are players who more or less already wanted to leave and are now just continuing in that vein. So the names that have been touted or suggested are Jesse Lingard, Donny van der Beek, Eric Bailly, and Dean Henderson are amongst other players that want to leave. Now, I'm not really that surprised. We know that Donny van der Beek, for example, hasn't been getting a lot of game time, didn't get any game time under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I didn't get a lot of game time, I should say, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ralf Rangnick's coming. It looks like he still doesn't fancy him. There's a World Cup on the horizon. You can understand why certain players don't want to stick around if they're not going to get a game. Donny van der Beek, it's just not worked out for him so far, has it? Let's face facts. Whether you like Donny van der Beek or not, he's not really getting many games. He hasn't ever been able to nail down a starting place at Manchester United. When he does play, he seems to get dropped quite quickly afterwards. So you can understand why he wants to go. Eric Bailly, again, he's someone who's been here for a few years now, and he's been here, was it 5 years, I think, is it? And yet, he's never had a consistent run in the team. Now, that's not only down to form or managers not liking him, it's also down to his injury record, which isn't great, and he always seems to have that thing of when he does get a little bit of a run in the team, he gets injured, and that sort of puts the brakes on that one. So, again, he's not had a run for different reasons. You can understand that. Dean Henderson, I'm a little bit surprised that Dean Henderson has been so quick, if reports are to be believed, to say he wants to leave, because it was only like, 6 months ago, whatever, it looked like he was becoming the number one choice for Manchester United. It's certainly in the league, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer began to favour him over someone like David De Gea, which is no mean feat. Then he got COVID, then he doesn't get many games. David De Gea comes back in, absolutely shines. Now it looks like Dean Henderson's down in the pecking order, and apparently he wants to leave. Again, you can say, well, okay, he's got one eye on the England squad, but I think you're only young. What is he, 24? David De Gea might not be here forever, and also you have sort of took the number one spot off him before. I'm not surprised he doesn't want to stick around and fight for his place. I get it can be frustrating, but you think with the mitigating circumstances, it wasn't like he was dropped because of form. I think COVID was the big sort of influencer there, and also the fact that, okay, Rangnick's here for, 6 months, but another manager could come in, who fancies Dean Henderson. You don't know. I mean, if David De Gea carries on playing the way he played recently, then it's going to be difficult to get him out of that number one spot. But it's been done before. So Dean Henderson's one that also, apparently, according to these reports, wants to leave. And Jesse Lingard, we've known about Jesse Lingard for a little while. I know he's obviously didn't go in the summer. Doesn't look like he's going to go in January, as far as we know yet. But does want to move. I think he's out of contract in the summer anyway, so if he wants to go, he can go in the summer for nothing. Now, Paul Pogba's not been mentioned in the reports I've seen, but we know that Paul Pogba's out of contract again in the summer. So there's a mixture of things going on here. There's players, obviously, that just want off. There's players that haven't renewed the contracts, who are out of contracts in the summer. And no doubt there's one or two players that are unsure. Get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think about certain players. Any players that you want to see leave, any players that you want to see stay, any players that you think Ralf Rangnick should be focusing on. He came out recently, didn't he, and stuck up for, or made his intentions clear when it came to Edinson Cavani, how he wanted to keep hold of Edinson Cavani, and how he'd sort of gone to great lengths to speak to him and try and convince him. Not so much with Anthony Martial. It was more or less with Anthony Martial. He wants to go, he can go. I'm not going to sort of try and convince players to stay at Manchester United. So do you think there's a contradiction there? Or do you think it is a case of Edinson Cavani is out of contract in the summer? There's different sort of issues there than Anthony Martial, who's got a few years left on his deal and hasn't really been getting many games over the last sort of 3 or 4 months at all. Edinson Cavani's leapfrogged him in the pecking order, of course. I'll go through some of the names that you guys are mentioning and what you guys think about it. There's quite a few people in the comments. Yash Gami says Dean Henderson's ego is hurt. I can understand that. Nero says, funny how some people just realise Jones is better than Maguire. Do you agree with that? I've seen a few people say, nah, I'm not so sure about that one. I just think he's had one good game, Phil Jones. It's his own game in 2 years now. I gave him credit for that game. I thought he played well against Wolves. But is he better than Harry Maguire now? Is that what we're saying? I don't think he is, to be honest with you. I think he's had a good game, but I still think Harry Maguire is a good defender. I don't think he's having a very good season, but I think he's a good player, if that makes sense. Queen Victoria says, Matic, Pogba, Fred have to go ASAP. Fred. Ooh, Matic even. I don't know if Matic on the horizon for going. I think he might be staying, Matic. Pogba's a little bit of a funny one. Talk, Mail Mucker Talk says, welcome back, Jay, and Happy New Year to you all. Thanks, bro. I look forward to chatting to you soon on the Man United agenda. I always love chatting to those guys. I'm just trying to see who the names who people are saying. Prison FC says Cavani works hard, but he doesn't like Ronaldo. I don't know. I think there might be those two. I think seem to be on more of a wavelength than we've seen with Greenwood and Ronaldo. Now, I'm a big fan of Mason Green. I'm not saying he should be dropped, and I was a bit annoyed that he got took off the other day. But there does seem to be a bit of a partnership with Cavani and Ronaldo. I don't know whether there is with Ronaldo and other players. Let us know what you think in the comments. Who do you see partnering Ronaldo? Does Ralf Rangnick have to drop Ronaldo? Some people say he does. Others people saying you can't drop Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't know. It's a big call, isn't it? Aaron Shearer says exactly what Ralph said previously. We shouldn't hold on to players who don't want to play. That seems to be a big thing for him, does it? Innit? He doesn't want to keep hold of players that don't want to be. That's what he was saying. He said that though about Martial, and then he said that, like I said earlier, he did a little bit of convincing when it came to Edinson Cavani. So do you think there is a little bit of a contradiction there, or do you think that he's being honest, or he's being fair with everyone, or you just think that with Martial it looks like his time has just come to an end now? I just feel Martial's not the player he used to be at all. I used to love Anthony Martial. Thought he was a very, very good player for Manchester United, but he just seems like he's lost a lot of confidence. He really does. People said, oh yeah, someone there says 64 Amex said anyone wants to leave, bye. Tyler Farnfield says, Jay, I think United will need a massive rebuild in the summer because a lot of players will go. John Wood says Lingard, Mata, Matic, Pogba, Henderson, Donny van der Beek, Marshall, Jones. That's at least 8 that we expect to leave anyway. So what's the issue? So yeah, do you think this is being blown out of proportion? Because I think John Wood's there listed a load of players that we kind of expected to go. So when you see something that says like 11 players or around up to 11 players want to leave, you think, wow, we've done it. Wow, that's a lot. You know, something's kicking off here. But then when you scratch beneath the surface, you go, okay, quite a few players are out of contracts in the summer. There's other players that just aren't getting a game, and there's not really anything to do with Ralf Rangnick. They weren't getting a game under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So is it that much of a surprise that you've got around 11 players who could be on the way out? I don't think it is. I think the big question for me now is what happens this transfer window or in the summer. Is he going to wait until the summer? Certain players are just going to go in the summer, the contracts are out. Certain players are going to move for money in the summer. Or are we going to see a lot of wheeling and dealing in this transfer window? Because I feel we need some reinforcements. And it sounds crazy, doesn't it? When we had that transfer window in the summer where we bought in Sancho, we bought in Varane, we bought in Ronaldo, bought in Tom Eaton. And you think, okay, that's a pretty positive transfer window, but we still need that midfielder. We're still lacking someone in midfield. And we've seen it. Scott McTominay had a great game against Burnley, not so much against Wolves. Fred, who's silenced some of his critics, but not everyone. I still feel like whether you're a Fred fan or not, you're a McTominay fan or not, whether you're a Nemanja Matic fan or not, regardless of all those things, we need another out-and-out DM, because I don't think we've got an out-and-out DM other than Nemanja Matic, who's the wrong side of 30 and can't play 2 games in a week. So it is a bit of a no-brainer for me that Manchester United needs to try and get someone in this transfer window. And it looks like Rangnick has got his eyes on someone as well. I've covered this a few times over the last few weeks. This has been gathering a little bit of momentum. It's nothing sort of new, although there has been a little bit of an update in terms of the fact that Rangnick, according to, I think it was Paul Hurst, was saying that Rangnick will be given some money, or has been told that funds are available. He wants to use some of those funds to sign Amadou Haidara. Now, we all know that United, I've just been talking about United desperately need a midfielder, and this kid seems to fit the bill. He's from RB Leipzig, I think, which is a club that has ties to Ralf Rangnick, so it's kind of, it seems like he could get that deal over the line. I think he's 23, and I think that the price tag has been quoted as around 35, 40 million, which isn't that much in the modern era, is it? Let's have it right. I mean, that's, half of what we paid for Harry Maguire. So I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility that United could go out and get someone like Amadou Haidara, 23 years old, so you think he's got, he's got another level to go to. Is he going to come in and be able to be the answer to our problems in midfield? Will he take time for him to settle? I think it might do, and I think we might have to temper our expectations a little bit, which isn't easy as Manchester United fans, and I'm as guilty as anyone of sort of expecting players to come in and instantly sort of be exactly what we want them to be. But Dara's going to come in here. If he does come in here, you have to get used to the English Premier League, get used to his new teammates, get used to being such an important part of this team as well, because he's going to come in and he's, all eyes are going to be on him, because we've been crying out for this role to be filled for so long. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. As always, we'll keep you posted, and we'll let you know if we do move for Haidara or anyone else, if funds are available. Who would you like to see Ralf Rangnick sign? Are you worried about this exodus? Are you concerned about this sort of revolution that we're talking about here, where you've got all these players that want to leave, or is it just par for the course when you're halfway through a season and you've got about 10 players that aren't getting much of a look in? Rebecca Jade O'Sullivan says, I'm peeved that we missed out on Trippier. To be honest, everyone's sucking the low off, but he leaves us playing 3 at the back every game and doesn't get called out on it. Yeah, Kieran Trippier was a funny one, because we wanted him. Ollie wanted Kieran Trippier. We covered it in the summer. We had Henry Winter on this channel who talked to us about it. We had Fabrizio Romano on it a little while ago, spoke about it. And there was obviously something there that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer felt that Kieran Trippier could give us a different option at right back. We didn't get him. I think Atletico Madrid priced us out of it. At one point, it looked like he was available for around 10 million. And then we were getting quoted, or we were seeing reports of it being around 35, 40 million, which United balked at. Obviously, get him. Now he's gone to Newcastle. Are you disappointed? Do you feel like we missed out on Kieran Trippier? I don't think Kieran Trippier is the guy you go, okay, if we get Kieran Trippier, that's it, we're going to win the title. But he is a different type of right back to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And I felt like he could have done a job. Henry Winter, when he was on the channel, spoke about him being a leader as well. Someone very vocal. We lack a bit of that, don't we? Remember when Sir Alex Ferguson say he didn't just look at the player in terms of his ability when he signed someone for Manchester United. He looked in terms of their temperament, their personality. Could they handle coming to the club? Were they a Manchester United type of player? Maybe Kieran Trippier could have done that, but anyway, it's all a moot point because he's gone to Newcastle. Levyman UK says, yes, Jay, welcome back. Thanks for having me back. Always good to chat to you people. About 1,700 people watching at the minute and only 100 odd likes. Hit that like button. Give us a like. Let's get to 500 likes. Let us know what you think about all these connections, these reports. Haidara is either one. Some people saying that Alvarez, that's a deal that looks like could be happening anytime soon. This is the young attacker from South America. Is he the player that you think we need? Was he going to come in and just sit on the bench? Is that... is it another bench warmer? Do we need players that can come in and go straight into the first team? Is Haidara that? Or will he take time? I mentioned it earlier, he might take time. Someone here mentioning James Garner, who's obviously been out on loan at at Nottingham Forest. Could Garner come in? I don't know, man. I think we might have to wait till next season. Debunk says, hi Jay, Martial redemption is sweet. He was abused, scapegoated for an entire 18 months, and he hasn't been part of this season's capitulation. So there's obviously someone who feels that Andy Martial's not really been treated very fairly. I don't know with Martial. I think that you have to look at the performances by the player recently, because I like Anthony Martial, but I think over the last year or so, his performances haven't been what I'd expect from a player of that calibre. certainly not production-wise. I think he's at 4 Premier League goals last season. You expect much more from a player with the incredible talent that Andy Martial's got. And the fact that he's moving on, it doesn't come as a massive surprise to me. I never thought he'd see out his career at Manchester United anyway. Give us a like, give us a share. If you're not doing as well, give us a subscribe. Make sure you are subscribing to the channel. Let's get to 700,000 subscribers by the end of the season. I'm going to wrap it up there. Don't forget to check out all the other videos on the channel as well. We've got loads of good stuff, all the podcasts, all the previews, reviews, all that stuff as well. We've got videos with Makola, with Joe, with Stephen Alson. So make sure you're checking those out. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Thanks as well for everyone who did get involved in the chat and the comments. I've been Jay. This has been The Paper Talk. Thanks for watching.